Hello, this is Brady Sundquist presenting to Dr. Caroline Ross, and this is the tea test. And here's a few facts about green tea, or tea in general. Tea is the most consumed beverage in the world besides water. True tea comes from the plant Camellia sinensis, if that was pronounced right, resulting in almost every type of tea imaginable. Type of tea, black, green, white, is a reflection of the level of processing, not the plant itself. Blending is aimed at adding the ideal aroma and flavor through the addition of the proper ingredients. Common additives are flower petals, roots, herbs, spices. These additives must complement base flavor of the tea at hand. And our main target of research was green tea. Green tea itself is lightly oxidized, moderately processed before blending. The aromas associated with green tea are green bean, asparagus, and spinach. Flavors associated with it are spicy and bitter. Consumer preference also played a role in what tea we selected. And consumers tend to dislike strong bitter flavors in their teas, and they prefer fruity flavors over vegetal flavors. Consumers also prefer a sweeter, smoother tea, which makes sense to the prior because fruity flavors are more sweet and smooth as opposed to vegetal flavors. Our tea selection was chosen as a reflection of the North American consumer preference. We decided to go with teas that provided a sweeter, smoother, fruitier taste, as said before. The objective of our study was to analyze the effect of blending on flavor and aroma variance in teas. We selected 4 green teas that ranged considerably in various attributes and processing techniques. The 4 teas were as follows. Number 1 was the Red Ridge Farm Blend. Number 3. Number 2 was Honey Lemon Ginseng, which was, quote, a white tea for a smooth taste, unquote. And this was from Celestial Seasonings. And we had a Good Earth tea as well as the 3rd tea. And the 4th was a Co-op brand, actually we bought in bulk. And it's an unblended loose leaf green tea, additive free, and the name brand on it was Republic of Tea. For our test, we came up with 2 hypotheses. The first null hypothesis being blending has no effect on green tea aroma, and the alternative to that was that blending will significantly impact the strength of various green tea samples. Our second null hypothesis was that blending has no effect on green tea flavor, with the alternative to that being that blending will significantly alter flavor attributes of green tea samples. The panel that we came up with was comprised of 1 male and 3 females, ages 19 to 22. Outside the panel, consumption of tea varied significantly among panelists. For example, 1 panelist consumed tea multiple times a day. 2 of the 4 panelists have a few cups per week, and 1 panelist almost never touches the stuff, stays away from it. Our procedure was as follows. Water was boiled and 2 grams of the appropriate tea was steeped in 1 cup of 165 degree Fahrenheit water for 5 minutes. After steeping, a 4th cup of each tea was added to a 6-ounce styrofoam cup, which was randomly coated, and panelists consumed the tea within 5 minutes to ensure the quality of the product was ideal. We also had standards for testing, and the standards were decided using the ingredients label as a guide. And we also used quick analysis of flavor, color, mouthfeel to come up with these standards as well. And lastly, we used a green tea flavor wheel, similar to the wine wheel we had in class. to help us with these standards as well. Training for the panelists took 3 hours. Panelists also took an hour break to prevent fatigue, which for tea isn't the most important, but still necessary, not as important as for other foods or beverages. During training, with a leader in the group, standard solutions were sampled and then discussed. We also used a randomized block design. Each panelist evaluated every tea for a total of 4 teas in one sitting. There was also a 30-minute break to prevent fatigue here, and the second replication was done following the same procedure. The analysis of our data was done using ANOVA and PCA analysis, which was ran over the raw data and accounted for judge-to-judge differences. Fisher's LSD was used to show significant differences for each attribute tested, for at least one sample of green tea. There were also certain trends that we noticed. For example, Republic of Tea was significantly different in fresh-cut grass aroma, most likely due to the fact that this tea is unblended, additive-free. Good Earth and Celestial Tea only differed in vanilla aroma, most likely due to the fact that the ingredients are extremely similar. There are also trends in flavor. No significant differences in spicy and citrus flavor for all samples. However, blend number 3 and Republic of Tea have no significant differences in all attributes except floral flavors. Blend number 3 added floral flavors, opposed to Republic of Tea, which is additive free, which explains this finding. Similarly, Celestial Seasonings and blend number 3 only had significant differences in creamy mouthfeel. Again, blend number 3 had floral additives, Celestial Seasonings fruity and citrus flavors, which could account for these significant differences. Also, something interesting, the biplot shows that 4 samples have no relationship, as each sample is in a different quadrant of the graph, which is an interesting finding. And it's important to see the variance in these 4 teas, especially as described by panelists. Blend number 3, the first tea, was described by panelists as green in color, slight floral and spicy flavor, and this matched the description from the company. Celestial Seasonings, described by panelists as having brown color and citrus aroma and flavors, and this is most likely explained from the brown color derived from the licorice flavor additives. And the third tea, Good Earth, described by panelists as vanilla aroma, brown sugar flavor, and creamy mouthfeel. Ingredients that describe the tea as sweet sugar flavor and could produce a creamy mouthfeel due to the chamomile and matcha green tea. And the fourth tea, Republic of Tea, had the aroma of fresh cut grass in yellow color. And again, this is most likely due to the unblended characteristic of the tea and the lack of artificial flavors and colors. F ratios also showed significant difference. It showed these between panelists for brown sugar flavor and creamy mouthfeel. It showed it between teas for brown sugar flavor, vanilla aroma, yellow color, brown color, and creamy mouthfeel. In conclusion, we reject the null hypothesis as blending does have a significant effect on green tea flavor and aroma. However, mixing and blending had the least impact on flavor and most impact on aroma, color, and mouthfeel. Thank you very much, Dr. Ross.